Yes, sir.
And you can see my screen. Okay, so any questions from the previous class? Any questions from the previous class? Okay, Dhananjay, Srikanth, Venu, not there. Okay, so let me open my Eclipse and also let me open my documentation. Okay, so if you look at here, let me calm down. So yesterday we were talking about the some of the standard controls, right? So let me go to the help documentation. Where is Venu? Are they good with the new link, or they are trying the old link and they are not able to join?
He had some network issues since he will not join.
Okay, you have the network issues in joining or in the internet itself? Okay, so this is what the documentation, developer document from the SAP. And if you look at here, these are some of the controls or some of the UI elements we practiced. And yesterday we were trying one, right? Anyone is able to resolve? Yesterday we were trying one. Anyone is able to resolve? Srikanth? Dhananjay? Yesterday we were trying to resolve one thing. What is that? Okay, message pop-up, right? Or message pop-over. So we were getting some challenges. Okay, let me run that program again. Let me run that program again. Okay, let me run that program again. If you look at here, let me go here. I pasted the link, and so we were getting some challenges. See, certain, I mean, if you look at here, we were getting some challenges. We were not able to display something, right? So yesterday we were looking at the possible combinations. Okay, so if you look at the yesterday I talked one of the point called we need to check it is a new functionality. Look at here. In the first tab there is a developer guide. What is the version of this one? 1.2.8. And yesterday itself, if we come down, then we might have known the solution. See, in this version there are new controls introduced. Look at here. In this version there are new controls introduced. So that control is nothing but message popover. Yesterday we did not scroll down to see the challenge. Even I talked about we need to check is this a new functionality or something like that. Okay, so if you look at here, this message popover is available in the version called 1.2.8. That means you need to have latest UI5 SDK. But which SDK we have? What is the SDK version we were having? So yesterday we have seen, right? So the SDK version is 1.2.6 or 1.26. But in which SDK version this element is available? This element is available in the version called 1.28. That was the challenging. So whatever you write, it will not work. So yesterday I was talking about we need to check is this a new functionality or something like that. I just scroll down like this. If we might have been scrolled a little bit more, then we are having the answer for that. So there is nothing wrong from the coding or something. So everything is correct only. The problem is this particular control, this particular UI element is available in the latest UI5 SDK. That's nothing but 1.28. The runtime environment, whatever we are having, the UI5, whatever I am having is 1.26. So therefore, that particular control is not available in my SDK to run. That's the challenging. So where whatever changes you do, it's saying you please define this, you please define that. So it's not able to understand. That's why it was keep on saying please define this, please define that and all. Okay. So therefore, that particular control you cannot able to run here. That's the challenge here. I hope everyone understood what is this. So if you look at the version guidance or developer guide, whatever we are having, it's clearly saying that what new in UI5 version 1.28. In the version 1.28, the first new one is the message popover, new controls. If you look at here, in the new control there is a message page. Message page is the new control and also message popover. So that's what the reason. So whenever you get some certain issues, please have a limit to you can spend some time, but don't keep on spend the time. There should be some limit. There should be some stop for the error. Yes, we agree that okay, there are some challenges, but still you can have a stop and you can check. Okay, so this is one of the things. So you cannot run that control as this requires latest UI5 environment or latest UI5 runtime. Okay, so that's about. Suprit, you are good now.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, Danu, Srikanth, everyone is able to understand now? Danu, Srikanth.
But do we use this message popover in real time?
Sorry?
This message popovers, do we use in real time or just for this option SAPUI is providing?
I'm not getting your question, Srikanth. Can you speak a bit loud?
Do we use this message popovers in real time?
That depends, right? So if you have this kind of requirement, then only you will go. Otherwise, it's not required. If you look at here, the major purpose of this one is if you want to capture more than one warn messages. Let's say if you look at here, so I am writing an application. I know what the errors are. I want to show the warnings, errors in some beautified manner in top left, top right, somewhere else. Instead of I display where in a default space, then capture all the errors, warnings, successful messages, informations, all these things, and you can attach those to this particular UI element, such a way that when you click on those, you will not have, or you will see in a beautified way. These are all some controls. It all depends upon how you want to use this particular component in your project. So if you have a requirement where you need to capture all the errors, warnings, successful messages, all these things, then this is a good solution instead of you develop a div element, because if you want to capture all these things and you want to keep in some place, obviously you need to write a HTML div. So inside the div again you need to create the space, that, this and all, then you need to create the line to showcase the difference, all these things, border, all these things. So instead of you do all those things, the simplest way is you can use this one. Okay. Shashi, did you get the solution or did you try it yesterday? Anyone tried yesterday, Sunil?
No, Satya, I didn't try this one.
Okay, not tried at all. Okay, that's fine. So this is about the standard controls. So I talked about most of the standard controls. Now you know how to practice, how to take the code, how to use in your own way all these things. If you want, you can go and practice for some more examples. And if any challenges, then notify me. Otherwise, spending on each control is going to take good amount of time. That is the reason when we were seeing the help in the practice examples, right? We did not get the help. If you look at here, I said we have some practice examples, right? This is the one. Test resources. So here we don't find that. The reason is that is another reason, because this particular thing is developed sometime back. And the control, whatever we are having, that's coming from the latest SDK or latest runtime. So that's why you don't find here. There are so many ways to explain that, but I showed you clearly. So that's the new control. So that's the reason we were not able to run. That's all the conclusion. Okay, so let's go ahead and move the next concept called the custom controls. Till now what we did, if you look at here, we were using the controls whatever coming from the SAP. So that means what? If you look at the controls, we have many of the controls, right? Like button, that, these and all. So many controls are there, link, menus, all these things. Now, the common requirement in any programming language is how to write your own controls, how to develop your own controls. So people call it as notepad controls, but notepad controls, there is a slight difference between custom controls and notepad controls. Notepad controls are without styling and all, and you cannot reuse them much. So instead of you develop a notepad control, better develop the custom control so that everyone can reuse it. Now notepad control will not have any rules to develop, but if you want to develop a custom control, you need to follow certain rules. That's why those are all reusable. Please see this. In some places you see something not called notepad controls. Notepad controls are plain controls and you can write however you want. As there are no rules to write the notepad controls, so reusability is very less. So that's why develop a custom control. Custom control is like a notepad control, but it will have set of rules to follow, such a way that it will allow you to reuse somewhere else, and it will allow you to extend extendability. What is the meaning of extendability? What is the meaning of extendability? Extensibility or extendability? Let's say I have ABC. On top of ABC, let's say we have HTML5. On top of HTML5, we have UI5. Let's say we have jQuery, JavaScript. On top of JavaScript, we have AngularJS. That means what? That is called extensibility. So we have something on top of that. We are defining some more steps. Those are called extensibility. So therefore, whenever you want to do something, or if you want to write your own control, don't write as a notepad control. Notepad control will not be followed any certain rules. So that's why it is not going to support much extensibility or reusability. Okay, so therefore try to write the custom control. When you want to write the custom control, you need to follow certain rules, or you need to follow certain steps. So how to write my own control? How to write custom control? That's the next question. Okay, please try to follow. So the next heading is creating custom controls. Creating custom controls in UI5. Maybe I need to put the test for you guys, because you guys are not at all studying. Yesterday I was talking to one of my friends. He is saying he just started one batch and the next second day itself he is putting the test for everyone.
Next week onwards.
Because,
Next
what
week
is that?
onwards.
Next
Next
week
week
onwards.
onwards.
Oh, you are not coming from next week onwards? Srikanth?
I will come, but all test will be from next week onwards. Will be available for tests.
Okay, fine. If you are coming, then fine. So, because when people are giving that kind of statements, right? Okay, fine. So, because studying is also very much important, because we are putting a lot of efforts. You might have been known by this time. Okay, so if you study, then obviously you will be also getting the results. That way we are going to be win-win. Fine. So creating custom controls. How do we develop our own custom controls? As I said, if you want to develop custom controls, so you need to follow certain steps. I'll explain you the steps. Before that, let's understand one standard control and see what are all the different things available for the standard control. You need to apply the same thing for your control also. Let's take the button. This is a standard control. So it is having something called, okay, this is an explanation. It is having properties. What are the properties? Whether you need the icon. What is the display label? Okay, whether it is enable or disabled. Whether it is whether it is enable or disabled. Like that, you have certain properties. So therefore, when you are writing a custom control, you need to define the properties. That is the first step. Okay, look at the standard one and understand the standard one, and you need to apply same thing for your control also. That's what the meaning. Okay, so take the button. Button is having certain properties. Now you are creating, let's say, Srikanth button or Srikanth control. So Srikanth control should have what? Certain properties. That's what the meaning is. Then anything you take that will have some associations. Anything you take that will have some associations. And there will be some aggregations. There is a slight difference between association and aggregation. So we'll see in the examples. So when we write some example, we'll understand what is the difference between association and aggregation. So therefore, for your control, you need to define custom properties, or you need to define the properties, associations, aggregations, then what else? Some events. If you look at here, button is having tap event, button is having press event. That means what happens? What happens when you click on the Srikanth control? What happens when you click on the, or when you press on the something? So therefore you need to define certain events also. You need to define certain events also. Therefore, what are all the different things possible? You need to define the properties, you need to define the associations, you need to define the aggregations. See, look at here, whenever someone is asking a question, can you talk about the custom controls? You please talk all these points. Don't say that, okay, I created some custom controls in my project. And whenever you are going to interview, if you say that, okay, I created some custom controls in my project, just remember to say at least one example. Obviously, if you say, I created a custom control, they'll ask immediately what kind of custom control you did. Then you need to give minimum one example. And the custom control can be anything. And that should have some meaningful value. Otherwise, no one will create. So before that, just visualize and have in one mind, okay, after executing these examples, you will visualize what kind of examples or what kind of custom control you can create. That's fine. So therefore, we need to create the properties, we need to create the associations, aggregations, events, and also look at here. Anything you take that will have some custom data types. What does that mean? That will have some custom data types. What does it mean? Okay, let's take the link. Link is having certain properties. Look at this one. Link is having certain properties. Let's say enable. Enable is what? True or false, right? So what kind of values it is allowing? True or false. That means what? true or false are the values. That means those are the data types. So therefore, you can also define your own data types. For your custom control. Please look at the explanation again. The first thing is that you want to define or the requirement is you want to create your own control. If you want to create your own control, you are going to define the properties. Fine. But before defining the properties, what you should have? You should have the data types. The reason is, let's take the example text. Text is what? It is going to allow string. String here is what? A data type. Let's take the subtitle. Subtitle is what? Boolean. It's a data type. It is going to allow true false values. So therefore, what kind of values a property can allow, you need to define using custom data type. Okay, you need to define using custom data types. We'll see example what kind of custom properties we can define, all these things. That's fine. So once you have the custom properties, once you have custom data types, using custom data types, you can define the custom properties. Once you have the custom properties, obviously you can do what? You can do associations, aggregations, events, all these things. And you can also write your own methods. And the other thing is that, let's look at the code. Any event you take, let's go to here, or any control you take, that will have lifecycle methods. Any control you take, that will have lifecycle methods. So therefore, you are writing a method, you are creating a control means you need to define the lifecycle methods. And you can also define additional methods. What are the lifecycle methods? On init, on exit, on after, on before, all these things. These are the lifecycle methods. Along with the lifecycle methods, if you want to define your own methods, you can define. And once you have everything ready, then what is the final step? Once you do all these things, what is the final step? Now you want to use the button. So if you want to use the button, what do you do? Where b1 is equal to new sap.m.button. So instead of sap.m.button, you are going to say what? Srikanth button. Srikanth button. Then you can specify whatever properties you want. Then display that one. b1 dot place at, where do you want to place? Content. So that's how the theory is. This is how you need to develop. So let me put these theoretical points so that you will get more idea. Then we can take step by step and we can implement it. Okay, creating custom controls. Let me run one example so that you will get more idea. What are we trying to do in this example? I have two examples. Custom controls. Let me go here. So custom controls 1. Yeah, let me run this program. Okay. Okay, so if I run the program, this is what my custom control. So that means what? So this entire thing is one custom control now. Previously, button means this kind of button will come. Now if I say Srikanth control will give what? One kind of image, some kind of text, then one button it will give. Once we click on the button, it is going to give an alert also. All this is nothing but one control now. Are you getting me? See, previously we are creating a text box. Text box is a control. So it just gives a text box. Now my requirement is what? So I want to have a control called the Shiva control. Okay, that should give a image like this and followed by certain text elements, and it should have button associated with that. And once I click on the button, I should get the alert like this. That's what my requirement. So therefore, if you have that kind of requirement, two solutions. What is the first solution? You can create email separately, you can create these many labels separately, then you can create the button separately, all these things, and group all them and display it here. If you do like that, what happens? If I want to do the same requirement, again I need to write the code. In your company, let's say 100 people wants to do this one, 100 people has to write the code. That's why you make that as a control, so that people just starting using SAP.m.Srikanth control or Shiva control. So once I say Shiva control, obviously it is going to ask what is your image location, what are all the text you want to display, then what is the button label. That's it. So I am going to specify image location is XXX, my text is YYY, my button label is GGG and semicolon. That's all. I will be getting this one. That's all. I will be getting that one. So that's what the meaning of custom controls. So therefore, you can develop whatever you want based on the requirement. Okay. Now, so this is what the output right now we have. I think it's having smaller size. Let me make it as 100%. Yeah. Now it is 100%. That's fine. So let's write some kind of theory. Let's write some kind of theory. And we also have one more example. Let's look at run. Let me run that example also. This is one more custom label, custom control. So what is happening? If you look at here, Channa test me is a button here. Do you have, if you go with SAP.m dot button, do you get this kind of button? No. So therefore, we are having our own button now. Okay, this we'll see as a second example. Okay, now the first example. Okay, so let me write some theory. Where we start? Okay, so the first thing is that steps are so Monday onwards daily one test, one class, 1 hour class, 1 hour test, right? Okay, so steps. First one is what? What is the first step? Please tell me now. What are the steps? Please tell me now. Just now we talked about, right? So the first thing is that you need to define the properties. If you want to define the properties, you need to know the data types. So therefore, if you have any custom data types, create the custom data types. So therefore, first step is create custom data types. If you have, if you don't have, that's fine. That's the step one. Next, step two is what? Once you have the custom properties, then you are going to create the custom control with the properties, associations, aggregations, all these things. So therefore, step two is create custom control. So inside the custom control, what all you will be having? So properties, you can define the properties. Second one is aggregations. Third one is associations. Fourth one is events. That's what I am trying to say. So you need to create the custom control. That means Srikanth control. Just say Srikanth control. Under Srikanth control, what are the properties you need to define? What are the associations you need to define? What are the aggregations you need to define? This particular control is not having aggregations. That's why you don't see. This particular control is not having aggregations. That's why you don't see. But if at all you define the aggregations, you will be getting. That's fine. So then it is having the events also. So after the events, what else we have? After the events, what else we have? What else? I told you, right? Life cycle methods. After the events, you can define the life cycle methods. After the life cycle methods, what else you have? So if you want to write any additional methods, you can. Additional methods. Okay. Additional methods. So if you want to write so let's say you don't want init method, all these things, and you want to write your own methods. Yes, you are welcome to write those kind of methods. So additional methods. Then we talked one point. We talked one point called additional methods you can write, and I'm just covering one more point called control managed properties. We'll talk about this one. Control managed properties. If you have any control managed properties, you can define GH. Next, one more thing is that I talked about this one. So sometime back we talked about. Let's take this one. Let's go to your documentation or properties. So if you look at here, these are the properties, right? What it is? Subtitle is the property. Text is the property. If text is the property, behind that, what kind of methods will be there? Behind that, what kind of methods will be there? We already talked about. If text is the property, what kind of methods will be there behind that? So set a text and get a text. So that means for properties, you will be having setters and getters. And if you want to override them, you can override. So therefore, if you look at this one, let me take the same example, UI5 help. Let me go here. So here we have some properties, text, enabled, emphasized and all. Let me open the documentation. Okay, so go to the API reference. So which one is that? sap.m.action, right? sap.m.link. sap.m. Go to the link. Go to the link. So this is the link. If you look at here, they said, okay, these are the methods, right? So I said we have certain properties like enabled, text and all. So let's see whether set text, get text is there or not. Look at here. Get text is there and set text will be there. That means the setter method will be there. See, set text is there. Okay. Then what is the one more property? Enabled. So there should be get enabled, set enabled. See, get enabled and set enabled. So there is a one more thing called what? Emphasized. So get emphasized, set emphasized. There is a target. Get target, set target. Like that, getters and setter methods will be there. So therefore, each control will have some properties. For those properties, you are going to define what? Getter and setter methods. Getter will help what? Setter will help you to set the stuff. Getter will help you to get the stuffs. So therefore, if you want to override them, you can override. Overriding the setters. Okay. So the next one is GHF. ABCDEF, GHI. So next I is, once you override the setters, getters and all, then finally what is that? So rendering the control. You need to render the control. So once you render the control, now your control is ready. So once your control is ready, then what people will do? Once your control is ready, then what people will do? They'll be start using it. So therefore, using the custom control. Use the custom control now. Use the custom control. Now custom control is ready to use. Now custom control is ready to use. So you can use it. These are the steps. Now let's follow one by one and try to implement one by one. So first thing is that what, okay, so the requirement right now, let's understand the requirement. Let me close some of the windows, or let me have it. The first thing is that if you look at here, these are the properties. Title is a property, author is a property, description is a property, price is a property. And if you look at it, look at the price. After the price, I am displaying something called euro. Actually, there is no euro kind of data type. So I would like to define my own data type for that. So therefore, first thing is that what? Create custom data types. Okay. So therefore, if you want to create the custom data types, just give me a sec. So what are the custom data types here we have? So I would like to have a custom data type called euro, and one more thing, this one, deliver expression true or false. Okay, so therefore, if you look at the piece of code, let me close some of the steps. Yeah. Okay, I would like to have only one custom data type. Yeah, that's it. Let's have only one custom data type, that's called euro. Rest all things are text. So here we have set up properties. In these properties, I would like to have custom data type called euro. So what kind of values it allows? Price, right now $49. Euros, what else you can allow? Let's say I am saying int x. If I say int x, what are all the values you can store? Let's assume that, okay, let me put it this way. Let your programming language, this is applicable for all the programming languages. It's not ABAP, it's not C language, it's not Java, it's not rocket science. That's why I'm saying let your programming language is 32-bit. So that means you are having a runtime environment which supports 32-bit. Please look at here. You are having a programming language which supports 32-bit. Or assume that let your programming language integer takes 2 bytes. I am defining it because the reason is in most of the languages this varies. In C language itself, integer takes 2 bytes in one environment, integer takes 4 bytes in another environment. If you look at here, C language with Turbo C with Windows, C language Turbo C with Windows will take 2 bytes. If you come to other language like Linux with C language runtime environment, it will take 4 bytes. That's why I'm saying your programming language integer takes 2 bytes. That means what? 2 bytes. This is clear now. Now in your programming language, or let's say in the ABAP or in the iPhone, you are saying int x. If you say int x, what kind of values it will allow? In the Java, assume that integer 2 bytes, then what kind of values it allows? What kind of values it allows? See, Suprit. Shrikant, Danu, Keshav, Sunil.
Number,
That's correct. There are so many numbers. What kind of numbers it allows?
Without decimals, and that depending on length. Yeah.
Without decimal, that is also correct. But what kind of decimals? Can I store 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, that?
Yes.
That is also wrong, Sunil. You say 32,000 K. If I am asking the range, it should not be K at all. Let's say your salary is 39,999. If I give 39K, are you okay? You are not okay. Definitely, right? So therefore, the range is minus 32,767 to, sorry, in the minus it will come 8. Minus 32,768 to 32,767. This is the range. This is the range. That means what? If you take a, if your programming language is taking 2 bytes of memory for the integer variable, you cannot store 40,000. That's what the meaning is. You cannot store 40,000. And even if you look at here, in the range, in the positive side, you have up to 7. In the negative side, you have up to 8. What is the reason? These are all there in ABAP, Java, wherever you go, it's the same funda. So there is a lot of explanation for this. If you look at in this positive side, you have up to 7. Negative side, you have up to 8. What is the reason? Anyone? Anyone can guess? Don't say the reason. Okay, there is no minus 0. That's why you are having one number extra in the minus side. So that is fine. Maybe 4th class students or 5th class students can tell. Now, what is the importance of, because nowadays C language, all languages are there from the 4th class itself. The 4th class teacher also tells the same. If 4th class student is asking the same question, why are we having in the positive side up to 7? Why are we having negative side up to 8? Then obviously one of the point is that, so here the ranges are 0 to, in the positive side, 0 to 32,767. In the negative side, there is no 0, right? There is no minus 0. As there is no minus 0, one count will be increased, so you will be having up to 8. Yeah, that is correct, but that is not at all correct. But that is okay for 4th class student to explain, not for the real-time student. So there is a 1 hour class for this. Maybe we can, whenever we have some time, whenever we get bored, right, we can discuss this one. You can remind me. Actually, we need to understand the computer organization. So we need to understand computer organization. I don't know how many people read the computer organization. You need to understand how the numbers, positive number stores internally, how the negative number stores internally. How positive number stores internally, and anyone knows how negative numbers will represent negative number stores internally? Or if you have minus 10 or let's say minus 15, how it will store internally? So we need to understand, and there is a life cycle for that. Based on the life cycle only, you are getting all these solutions. Okay, fine. So let me come back. So why I did go here is that, so if you have a data type, there should be some range. So therefore, you need to specify what kind of range of values it will have. The same way, I would like to define a data type called currency something, my currency. So my currency, what kind of values it allows, I need to define. What kind of values it allows, I need to define. So therefore, we'll define that also. So the first step is what? Creating custom data types. So anything I need to write here. I think everyone understand what is the meaning of custom data types, right? I don't need to write the theory now. Okay, so let's go ahead and implement that custom data types. Let's go ahead and implement the custom data types. So the first step is I would like to create a custom. So these are all common, nothing is there. Now come to here. So I would like to create a custom data type called, if you look at this one, I would like to create a custom data type called currency. So I will name it as my currency, or if you look at here, the name here is that currency code. The name here is that currency code. So therefore, whenever I am going to use currency code, it is going to allow me some values. If you look at here, you need to declare that. You need to declare that. So you are declaring a custom data type. What is the custom data type? So the custom data type name is currency code. and you are defining the custom data type, obviously you require the base data type. Please see this. You cannot define, that's what I said. If you want to write the custom controls, you need to follow certain rules. Then only those are all reusable. Then only those supports extensibility. So therefore, now you declare what kind of custom data type you want. I want a currency code. Fine. So currency code should have what kind of nature? The base data type. So therefore, you declare as your data type, and you also request the base data type. So both you get it from the jQuery. And use something called use strict. If you use strict, right, so it is enforced to not miss anything. So it's like a so that's what if you see one example, this is the best example. So in the C language, wherever you go, these kind of things are common. So for simple explanation purpose, I am giving C language. Float x is equal to 3.4 semicolon. I am writing like this. Is this correct in C language? In the Java, I am writing float x is equal to 3.4. Now coming to C language, is this correct in C language? Now tell me, in the float we have in the ABAP also. Is this correct in the ABAP?
Yes, instead of semicolon, we need to use dot.
Here, end. Okay, end, that is fine. But can I put 3.5 in the ABAP?
Yes, yes.
In the Java, is this correct or wrong? I am talking about the Java. If I say 3.4, is it correct or wrong? Just tell me. Forget about, okay. So first of all, C language one, correct or not? We are talking about the data. Please see that. I am trying to link the concepts to understand more. Why are we using those strict all these things? So that means whenever they are defining this kind of stuff, they also did this kind of codings. Now you can understand what's going on behind coding. So in the C language, is this correct? This is correct. In the Java, it is wrong. I hope in the ABAP also it is wrong. In the Java, it is wrong. The reason is, you need to understand one more concept here. How the numbers stores internally again. If you look at here, numbers are categorized into two parts. First one is with decimal parts, with decimal and without decimal. These are some fantastic conclusions which you need to learn from the programming languages. Numbers are categorized into two parts. These are all the mathematics, not programming languages even. You just apply the mathematics in the programming languages. That's fine. Now come back. Numbers are two types. Decimal with decimals, without decimals. With decimals means what? 2.5, 3.4 and all. Without decimal means what? 24. It can be positive, it can be negative. Both are fine. I'm not concentrating on the positive, negative. Minus 24 and all. So therefore, if you look at here, these are all what? Real numbers. These are what? Natural numbers. So the first thing is that real numbers. The second thing is that natural numbers. And if you look at here, so these are all what? So in the Java, I said it is wrong. In the Java, I said this is wrong. In the C language, this is correct. Why? The reason is something like this. So 3.4 is what? With a decimal. That means it's a real number. All real numbers by default of type double in the programming language. Even in ABAP also it is a double. Even in ABAP also it is double. So in the double takes 8 bytes memory. DOUBLE, double takes 8 bytes memory. And if you look at in the left side, you have float. Float takes 4 bytes memory. Okay, please understand. In the C language that is correct. In the Java that is wrong. In the ABAP also I think it is wrong. But I'm just thinking. I'm not sure. But it should be wrong in the ABAP because ABAP is also object-oriented, strong object-oriented programming. Look at here. So this is a real number. So the conclusion is what? All real numbers by default double in the programming languages. That means what? Even though you are giving 3.4, you are just giving 3.4. So internally it will be stored as a double. So every double will take 8 bytes of memory. But left side you have what? Float. Float is going to take 4 bytes memory. That means what? You have 8 liters of milk and you are trying to put in 4 liters of container. Is it possible? See, right side, that means this one. You have 8 liters of milk and you are trying to put in 4 liters of container. Is it possible? There are two scenarios. Possible means what? Yes, possible. Not possible means what? Yes, not possible. Possible means how? You can just dump it. If it is overflow, let it overflow. Not possible means what? Hey, I am going to warn you. I am not going to allow you. So therefore, if you come into the C language, it is correct because of the reason is they are not warning you. So even though you are trying to put 8 liters of milk in 4 liters of container, it's allow you, it just wastes the remaining 4 liters. That means if there is any data loss, it will say that okay, it will allow you. Finally, you will have some kind of data loss. That means what? Behind when they are writing behind when they create the float data type, right? They might not use this kind of strict kind of statements. That's what the meaning I can say. So as they did not use some kind of strict kind of statement, it is simply allowing you. Now coming to the Java. So when you write the same statement in the Java, now this is what? Real number. All real numbers by default what? Double. And the left side is what? Float. Float takes how much? 4 bytes. In the Java also these bytes are same. In the ABAP also these bytes are same. So here, what are you trying to do? You are trying to put 8 liters of milk in 4 liters of container. So immediately it is going to say, hey, I will not allow. Because there is a overflow. Because there might be data loss. And so on, so on, so. That means what? Whenever they created a data type in the Java like this, they are writing strong statements such a way that you will not get any data loss or you will be warned clearly. Now tell me, Srikanth. Okay, so now all the if you define a number like this, by default it is double. If you don't want a double, that's why these kind of statements gives performance, impact the performance. So to avoid that, so I know that okay, this I don't want this as a double. I want to take it as a float only. Then you can use small f or capital F after the number. If you use small f or capital F after the number, then this will be treated as float. So therefore, left side is float and right side is float, and you are trying to put 4 liters of milk in 4 liters of container. It perfectly matches. That's why that is correct, and this is a correct statement. All these things. Now you tell me, Srikanth, in the ABAP. Okay, with my explanation, you tell me in the ABAP whether float x is equal to 3.4 allows or not. I don't think that will allow. Right?
It allows. It allows.
Left side
because
float.
Internally, SAP. But internally, it allows 15 decimal points when we use float data types.
Okay, there itself you are clear. Okay, so there itself you are clear that okay, so it is a programming. Okay, so when you say 3.4 and if it is taking 15 decimals means it is a double number. See, float number means it should take only 8 decimals. 15 decimals means it is a double number. That means what? So this is a double and this is a float. That means unnecessarily you are allowing your programming language to do one conversion. That is impacting the performance. So you should not allow that kind of statements. That is like a you are writing some kind of, I can say, I don't know what the term is, but we should not write like that. Yeah. So the best programming is after the label. So best programming is use double here, so that left side double and right side double, there is no implicit typecasting, there is no conversion happens. But if at all you are using float here, there is a conversion happening. You are trying to convert a double, or you are trying to put a double value inside the float. There is a, without knowing you, there is a conversion happening behind. So don't, even though programming language allows, with our mature knowledge, don't write that kind of statements. So if you want to write, you can use F, or left side one you can take double. Left side one you can use double. Okay, so that's all about this one. Now come back. So therefore, use some kind of strict and all, so that if there is any anomaly and all, so it's going to warn you. So okay, fine. Now come back. So if you look at here, so I am defining com.channa.data types dot currency date. You can use path whatever you want. That's not a big deal. Okay, currency code. And I said you are defining the data type, so you should get some base rules. So that's why I'm defining the data type from this sap.ui.base data type, create data type. What kind of data type? Currency data type. And I said, so it is going to allow, whenever you define a data type, it is going to allow set of the values. If you see integer, it is allowing 32,767 to minus 32,768. That means the internal coding they have written like this. They defined start value, end value, all these things. That's why it is allowing like that. Now the same way, if you look at the custom data, see, it is giving a lot of meaning. That's the reason I am spending a lot of time here. You need to visualize for all the programming languages how they might be written the standard data type. Okay, now coming here, I am specifying this particular data type can allow only Euro and USD. So therefore, if you go and specify other than this, then obviously you will be getting error. Okay, so if you look at the example, whatever we are having, integer is this one. Then if I store x is equal to 40,000, then I'm going to get the error. The reason is it did not define the values. It's not there in the range. The same way, if you look in my programming language, if I use currency code, what is the value it is going to allow? Euro or USD, because I defined that way. So if I specify XYZ, then obviously I'm going to get the error. Okay. So that's how you can define the custom data types. Now, any questions on the custom data types? So first step is over. So custom data type, create custom data types is over. The first step is over. So in this entire explanation, we are having only one custom data type called the price or currency code something. Or you can also name it as whatever you want. My currency code or Srikanth currency code. You can have whatever you want. So first step is over. Now what is the second step? Tell me. The second step is what? Create a custom control and define properties, aggregations, associations, events, blah, 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 and all. Let's see. Now, second step, create a custom control. I would like to create a custom control called book. I would like to create a custom control called book. So that means whenever I say book, it is going to take an image and it will take certain properties and it will be giving. So that means going forward in my programming, if I say what is the path I have given, a path is com.channa.controls. So in my programming going forward, if I say okay, SAP new com.channa.control.book. If I say book, then I will be getting this one, a image with a collection of properties and a button. Okay, so therefore I am, second step is what? Create custom control. So I just created a custom control called book. I created a custom control called book. Okay, and I am specifying this will be available com.chenna.control.book. That's fine. Now if you look at here, I would like to use some of the properties from existing. So image, some kind of label, some kind of button. So therefore, this book requires what? A button, a image, something, a link, a text view, something at all. And it also requires what? The custom data type, whatever we created. See, now onwards, book means this entire thing. Book means this entire thing. So that requires what? Obviously, an image, a label, a text, a button, the currency, custom currency, whatever we created, all these things. So therefore, I am defining what is required. So jQuery.sap.require, you can define all these things. That's it. Now coming to here. So now your custom data type is created. Now custom data type consists of what? Properties, right? Custom data type consists of properties. Did I define what kind of properties? No. Now I need to define custom properties. If you want to define the custom properties, you need to have extend method. See, custom control is created called book. But did I define the properties in that? Did I define the properties for the book? Did I define the methods for the book? Did I define image for the book? No. Now you need to define. So therefore, if you want to create properties, if you want to create the properties, then you need to define. Please look at here. If you want to create the properties, then you need to extend to base control. So we have a control. For the control, you need to extend. Which one I need to extend? The book. That's what I said. So notepad controls, you no need to follow much rules. But I want to develop a control which are reusable, extensible. Then you need to follow the rules. Otherwise, others cannot use. Otherwise, your runtime cannot understand. Okay. So therefore, SAP.UI. So if you want to create the properties, then you need to extend to. You need to use the method called extend. Extend. So extend what? Extend to my book or whatever it may be. Now you can define the properties, metadata. So properties, all these things are called what? Metadata. Those are the metadata. Okay. So now what are the properties I have? A title, author, all these things. So therefore title is I am taking the data type string, dot, these and all. So author, string, blah blah blah. Then currency code. Look at here. After the price, we have something called currency code. That is coming from my own data type. After the price, we have currency code. That is coming from my own data type. So use your own data type. And if you look at here, we said use strict, right? Where is the data type? Yeah. If you look at here, we said use strict. So if you say use strict, if you look at here, yeah, that's fine. So it is going to allow two values. Now I am specifying what is the default value. Default value is USD. So that means what? Whenever you run the program, if you are not specifying the value, it will get USD. That's fine. That means if you are not specifying, it will take USD. And if you look at here, the same thing in your programming languages also. Float X. Then if I let's say let's take the Java C language, it is not having much meaning. Now I am printing system.out.println, system.out.println X. So if you look at here, int X I have taken and I did not store any value, and I am trying to print the value. What the output you will be getting? In the Java, what is the output you will be getting? 0. That is correct. Because of the reason is, when they define this particular data type, they made default value as 0. That's what the meaning. That's why even though you store the value, when you print it, you are getting the 0. That's how they created internally. Now I hope you are able to understand how they created the data types, how they developed the data types, all these things. Now you go and create your own programming language. Okay. Fine. So that's what in MTech, when I was doing MTech, I created a mini project for the first year. So that's called a C language editor. So we have a C language editor, right? We have the C language editor. Everyone knows C language editor. Anyone is there who knows who don't know C language editor? Okay, so this is what I did. I'm just giving an example because that's giving a lot of knowledge for me. So in the C language editor, you will say turbo C something and all. You will get the editor. Then you will write the programs, right? Like this, you will write the program. Into X, CLR, SCR. You can try it out this one. This is going to give fantastic knowledge. CLR, SCR. This is how you will type, right? So this is how you type the program in the C language editor. How to develop your own editor like that? How to develop your own editor like that? Don't think that you can develop on the fly. No, it's not that much easy. Look at here. Assume that this is a C language editor. When you press down arrow, your cursor will come to the down. When you press enter here, the text whatever you have next to that will come in the next line. When you press the tab, it will arrange like this. This all happens in the C language editor. And if you want to create that, you need to apply a lot of knowledge. Go and try it out this program. Forget about which language you will try. In any language, it's going to give excellent knowledge. It's not that much easy. So there is a code behind. Whenever you press up arrow, or there is a, if you come here, I am pressing a space. There is a lot of code behind to provide the space for you there, and it is moving the characters next. It is moving to next line. There are so many combinations you need to take it out. Okay, fine. Let me come back. I don't know why they go there. Where we are? Why did I go to that concept? Okay, fine. Now you define the properties. That's over. So these are the properties I want. I define the properties. Once you define the properties, what else we have? And if you want to apply some styles, please apply the styles. So what is the width, height, and all you can apply. For the properties, what are the styles you want, you can apply. Then what else? I have the properties. Then what else I have? After properties, so I declare the data types. I declare the properties. Then what else? Associations. So what is the association? What is the association? So associations are what? It is like a reference. Whenever you study C language book, right? At the end, he will also specify these are the related books. These are the related links. These are the related topics. Those are called associations. Now you are creating a book. Let's say you are creating a book, Crack Top 20 Companies Using C Language. Author is what? Srikanth. So therefore, Srikanth is the property here. Srikanth is the property here. Author is the property here. Now, when you create a book for the C language, obviously at the end or somewhere else, you will also specify what? These are the internet links I read to write my book. These are the reference books for your knowledge to extend my content. That, this and all. Those are called associations. So therefore, if you want to define any associations, please define the associations. For what you can define the associations? For your book. What kind of book? Something. You can define related books and all. So here it is not defined well. So that's why. So just I define. I just say that okay, there is a related books, but you need to specify what are the books, what are the links, all these things. So now you understood what is the meaning of associations. Associations are visible to outside, yes or no? Now tell me, associations are visible to outside, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, that's correct. Because of the reason is, so say, let's say you are writing the book, and if you are hiding the associations, that means related to books, what is the use of that? So associations are visible to outside. Now there is something called aggregations. What is the meaning of aggregations? Associations are fine. Now coming to the aggregations. So aggregations are what? If you look at here, if you look at here, so here, so this button is made up of with what? With collection of things. So therefore, you are aggregating with what? You are aggregating with a button. You are aggregating with a image. So what kind of things? So tells what to show and what to hide. So aggregation defines what kind of things you would like to show with the Srikanth book control. What kind of you would like to show with the Shiva control, Shiva book control. So therefore, you will be specifying, oh, I would like to show a button, I would like to show a image, I would like to show pictures, all these things. So these questions, most of them are asking, what is the aggregation, what is the association in the, what is the association, what is the aggregation in the UI5 or in the custom controls. Association defines the related information, aggregation defines what to show, what to not show. In this particular example, I would like to show, along with my custom properties, I would like to show button and images, blah, blah, blah. That's all. Now, associations are over, aggregations are over, then what is the next one? If you look at here, properties are over, associations are over, aggregations are over, then next one is events. Now, I would like to define an event. If you look at here, event. So, the event name is buy. That means once they click on the buy, what to do? Look at here. Buy the book. Once I click on this one, what to do? That's what the meaning is. So that is a method I am defining. So I am saying, okay, enable default, enable prevent true. So it's like a true. So it tells UI5 application can decide if you want to buy it or not. So look at here. Okay, that's fine. So we did not write any meaning for that. That's fine. Actually, we are going to define an event. That events are nothing but what? On click, what to do? On hover, what to do? Those are all. So it's just like, it is like an undefined event. So just created a space for that. It's not defined. That's it. Now coming here. After that over, then what else is over? Now events are fine. Now lifecycle methods. We have plenty of our 4 lifecycle methods. Init, destroy, all these things. Now you can define the lifecycle methods. Init. On initialization, that means let's say you are saying SAP dot not dot com dot Channa dot book. So that means you are creating a control. When you create a control, the init method will be called. On the init, what is there? So you need to display all these things. So therefore, in the init method, you are going to specify what to display. If you look at here, so I would like to have a controls called the button dot this and all. It's like a variables, nothing more than that. Now, inside the initialization, you would like to create a button. Create button. So that button is what? This one. That button is what? This one. Then what else you want? So you need to have the aggregations. So basically in the initialization method, in the init method, you are going to define all these things. Okay, what kind of methods you want, what kind of buttons you want, what kind of images you want, what kind of labels you want, what to do on the button and all. So that's what we are trying to do here. On the init method, I am displaying a button. Once you click on the button, I am displaying some message. Then what is the aggregation? So set aggregation. What is the aggregation we created? This is the aggregation. So in aggregation, button pictures are there. So therefore, set aggregation button. Okay. Then there is an image. So you can define height, width, and all for that. And you can also specify something. After that, okay, if you want to add some styles, you can add styles. So if you look at here, so there is a style class NS book, this one. So there is a CSS written for that. Okay. So right now no CSS, that's fine. Okay, that's about this one. So now once you are done with all these things, once you define lifecycle method, then what is that? If you want to write additional methods, you can write. And if you want to write manager controls, you can write. Override setter methods, else you can define the rendering control. These are all not mandatory, but if you want rendering control, on after rendering, what to do? That means init method is over. After init method, you are going to render the control. Once you render the control, that means when render method is called, what to do? You are going to call the functions, or you are going to display that particular UI element. So that's what you are calling it as render, rendered. So in the render, you are trying to render what? You would like to display a image, certain labels, then book. So you need to write the logic. If you look at here, I created a div. Inside the div, we are placing something called NS book. These are the styles. Let's see if those styles are there. No, those styles are not there, but you need to write. It is just like a CSS, nothing more than that. Okay, so these are the styles, nothing more than that. Come down. Yeah, look at here. So the first thing what we are trying to do here, when rendering, I just created a div. Then what are all the things should be there? You should have a picture. So look at here, there is a picture. Get picture. Okay, then what are the labels we would like to have? After the picture, we would like to have all these labels. All these labels. So that is what we are defining here. Title, author. Title you should get from the title. Get title, get author and all. So therefore, there is a getter methods and setter methods for yours. You can define all those things. So after the labels, you will be having the button. After the labels, you will be having the buttons. That's what the button is specified here. Render the button. That's over. Now, if you want to override the setter methods, you can override the setter methods. Okay. So for everything, there will be a setter method. If you look at here, so there is a picture URL, right? Picture URL. If you look at here, we have a picture. We have an image. So there is a picture URL. So therefore, you need to specify that. You need to set the URL. You need to get the URL. So if you want to set the URL, you can have the set URL. So and I'm setting the URL. So what is the URL for this? Look at here. So you are going to pass when this particular method is called. Okay, we'll see that one. Okay, that's it. So now there is one more thing called what? Exit. On exit, what to do? You need to destroy it. On exit, that means when you are exiting from the button, so you are going to specify what to do. So you are going to invalidate the link. You are going to invalidate that particular control. So therefore delete it. So delete this one. Okay, that's what it is saying. Release the resource. So if you want to release the resource, obviously you need to go to on exit. So that's it. Now your control is ready. Once the control is ready, then what is the last step? You need to call the custom method or custom control. So what is the custom control? We created a book. So therefore, where it is available, com.chenna.control. So it's a book. So what is the title? Title is Chenna book. Then you can pass all these elements, blah 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 and all. Then if you look at here, after passing all these things, look at here. We are passing the currency code. If I pass currency code, allow values are what? Euro or USD. Let's say if I pass ABC, obviously you will be getting error. Because allowed values are only 2. See, you are getting, okay. The problem is we did not run the program. Let me run it. So we are getting the error now. We don't get the output because of the reason is, obviously the reason would be that one. So look at here, ABC. It is saying that for currency code, ABC I don't know. So therefore, let me go revert that euros. See, default is what? USD. But we are getting euros because I am passing euros. If you are not passing, then you will get USD. Let's say you are not passing this one. You are not setting the currency. These are all, you can very well try it out. See, now you are getting USD. That's what the meaning. Fine. Now coming to here, comments, if you want, you can enter something. See this. This is what the URL we are passing. Picture URL. Picture URL you are passing. Okay, so therefore once you click on the buy button, so you are getting some text that's coming from this here. Buy book, book title, and book author. So that's what you see. Buy book, book title. What is the book title? Channa book. And author. Author is what? Channa Reddy. That's what it is. That's how you can define. Okay. And finally you are going to place that one in the body. That's how you can develop the custom controls. We did not write any meaning here, don't worry. There is nothing here. That's how you can write the custom controls. Now if you have any questions, you can ask me how to write the custom controls. Example number 35, not 35, I think it's 36, right? See, I am putting a lot of efforts. I just written the steps, whatever I talk about in a notepad. Let me put it in your document also. My intention is whatever we are covering here, you should not have any questions after that. Okay, so this is what this one. So program number, what is the program number? 36, right? Program number 36. What this will do? So I just written the requirement. Requirement is or question. What this is going to? I'm just arranging the document, whatever the words, whatever I talked about. What this program do? Display a book. Okay, display cover page, that, this and all. Then that book will have information, title, all these things. Then there should be a buy button. Once you click on the buy button, show the author name and all. Okay, so the finally note is what? All these should make as a single control, custom control called book. Okay, so that's the requirement. So whatever I discuss, I am putting here. Okay, called book. That is what my requirement is. For that, what all we did? For that, what all we did? You can check it here. So step 1. What is the step 1? So you created the custom controls called these and all. So I have written some steps here. Whatever we talked about, I explained. Okay, so then you can specify what kind of values a custom control allows. So I said it is going to allow this one. Then step 2, you can define or you can create the custom control called book. Once you created, you need to extend to what? Control. You need to extend to control. You remember, right? We have extend method or extend in this one. That is what we did. Okay, so then the question is, I have extend. So why I am using extend? Because this is having meta things. Okay, so what are the things meta contains? So just now we have seen, first thing is properties, aggregations, associations, all these things. Okay, so let me try to remove some of the spaces. Multiple. Okay, so what is the single name? Let me remove this one. Now events, all these things are available there. Okay, so that's what we talked about. For each property, you will be having setter methods and getter methods. Now question is, what is the difference between aggregation and association? Just now we talked about. Aggregation. I am putting in a formatted order, nothing more than that. Okay, so whatever we, hey, good morning. Say good morning to everyone. Hello, say first hello.
Good morning.
Hello. First say hello.
Good morning.
Not only good morning, you need to say other words. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning. Good morning. I'll say good
Good
morning.
morning.
How are you?
How are you?
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, good. Let's go. Okay, fine. Let's come back here. So we talked about the life cycle methods. So we talked about the life cycle methods also. Init method, that method, this method, and all. So we have 4 kinds of life cycle methods. All these things. Now you are there to teach, right? I'm giving all the notes. You should be able to teach. Okay. That is the reason I'm giving everything to you. So you should be able to teach everything now. Okay, so what is this message link? So I just given some of the methods or some of the points, whatever we talked about, what is the setters, methods, that, these and all. So how the rendering happens? Rendering happens because of render. Just now we have seen. So these are some of the beautiful points, but you need to remember. If you remember, then only these are the tasty. Otherwise, you will not have tasty. From my side, I am giving maximum. It's up to your wish whether you want to use it or not. Okay, that's all about. So all steps we discuss, and I just written because of the reason is it requires a lot of knowledge. That's the reason I am putting all the points whatever we discussed. So I don't want you guys to forget. I don't want you guys again go and refer something at all. And the simple thing I am saying, don't refer the steps without studying my notes. Once you complete my notes, then start reading others. Because see, we are spending time means we are good to do all these things. We are spending time means we are good to do all these things. If something you don't find from my notes, yes, you can go. And teaching 100 things is also not possible. 100% is also not possible because we have so many things. Okay, so that's about the custom controls, and I have given a high-level diagram also. The points, whatever we talked about, I just typed it. Nothing more than that. You can go and read all those things. Fine. Now come to here, and I just given one diagram which talks about high level. So if you see that is a more theory, you can remember this diagram. That is also fine. So what are we trying to do? We have a method called extend. Where that method is available, just now we have seen. What that method will do, we have seen. What kind of stuffs it will provide? It will provide properties, events, aggregations, that, these and all. That's what the meaning here. Whatever we talked about, I am just giving a graphical format or image format so that it will be easy for you to remember. A image can give 100 words, right? Same thing here also. I know that, okay, there is a lot of theory, that's why I'm just giving in a high level. So if you want to develop the custom controls, you are going to use the method called the extend. That is going to have certain things. What all it is going to provide? It is going to provide all the meta properties, blah, 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 blah. Fine. Once that is done, you are going to extend. That's what. So if you look at here, properties, events, that, this and all. So the control structure. Then what are all the steps we followed? We created a custom data type. We created a custom control. While creating the custom controls, these are all the steps we have done. And finally, we are using the custom controls. Those are the steps. So if you want me to put this one there, I can very well put. Okay. In the examples also, I am giving this one because the reason is, if you suddenly open the examples, you should be able to understand. From now onwards, I am giving something in the examples. Let me show you. In the examples, I am giving something called one more file. What that file contains is, let me talk about. From now onwards, because the examples are going to be a little bit complex. So if you look at here, by seeing the output, you may not understand what is this. If you don't understand by seeing the output, the other thing is that read this text file. Let's say this is the output, right? By looking at the output, assume that you are not able to understand. Then read the text file immediately. What this text file is saying, what above program do, or what this program will do. I said what? Display a book, display book cover page or image. Okay, display book information, price, all these things. Now you can open and you can check this theory. So whatever we did, that is what I explained here. What above program will do, or what this program will do. So it is going to display, it is going to have a custom control called book. That book is going to display image, some labels. I just talked about a button. Once button is clicked, then it is going to show author name and title. So that's what the explanation is. Now I am giving all the ways. Even though you open after 100 days, I hope you should be able to understand. If not, God will save you. Okay, I don't know other than that. Fine. So let's see the second example. I don't want to spend much time on the second example. I'll just go in 2-3 minutes. Let me run the second example. What are we trying to do in the second example? Same thing, but instead of book control, that control and this control and all, I am creating my own button. I am creating my own button. So once I click on this, I am getting an alert. Once I click on this, I am getting the button. Once I am clicking on this, I am getting a button. So let's go ahead and see the code quickly for 1-2 minutes. I don't want to spend the time. So I don't want any custom data types. So that's why there are no custom data types here. The example, whatever I explained previous, that is having maximum explanation. I don't want any custom data types, no custom data types. Directly I am creating a custom control called shape. So now onwards, if I use the shape, then I am going to get this kind of shape. And if you look at the shape, in the previous example, we did not apply the CSS. Now here CSS are applied. So this example consists of CSS. So if you look at here, this is the shape. It is having higher size. This is having lower size because I am passing different parameters. That's it. Okay. So it is having a property called string, that, this and all. Then I am trying to display that. When I am displaying, it is a div. So inside the div, there is a width, height, all these things. And I am applying a class called square. So look at here, square. So if you look at here, we are passing certain parameters, border, width, height, color and all. So if you want to change the color, you can change the color, all these things. It's just like applying the CSS, nothing more than that. Now coming to here, once you click on the button, or once you click on that shape, whatever you created, once you click on the shape, you need to display some message. That's what we are trying to do here. Then the part 2 is what? You are going to display that one. If you look at here, okay, my control shape. So what is the shape you want to have? Our shape title should be what? CR test me. That is what you are passing. And if you look at here, size I am passing 100 pixels. Size I am passing 100 pixels. That way you see little bit bigger one. And the next one, when I create a one more shape or one more square, I am passing size is equal to 80. That's why you see a little bit smaller one. So let me make it as 50. See, look at this one. This is a smaller one. And as it is a smaller one, it is not able to fit. So that's why text is overlap is there. How to overcome the overlaps? We already discussed in the HTML. We already discussed in the HTML, right? So that's what it is. Okay. So once you click on that, that's it. This program. This program don't do much. So we just create a square. For the square, I'm displaying the square. While displaying, I'm passing some parameter called size. I'm going to use the size, get style, all these things, get size, get style, and get size. So based on the size, I'm just displaying how much square it is going to have. And if you look at here, for the square, I'm setting the border. That's why you see this kind of border. And obviously, you are setting the color. Border color is red, blah, 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 so that you can see. So therefore, if you want to create your own buttons with your own styles and all, you can create like this. That's all about the custom properties, custom controls. If you have any questions, you can ask me. I have given maximum explanation on the custom controls. Please read this, remember this. Don't spend the time simply by Googling something. Oh. Okay. Oh, this is coming from the properties. Okay, sorry. I was thinking that this is a text. This is text only. Oh, okay. Sorry. Where is this coming from? Properties. How come both are combined? Okay, this is my explanation. Okay, these I can remove. Okay, so let's see. Okay, add the DOM element. Finally, dot this and all. Okay, so then finally you place this one, right? Supreet, at least are you able to understand today? Why it is going inside? Something is happening wrong. That is the next step I am going to do. Okay, but it's not go inside because see, look at here. What happened? My text is cutting. Something stupid. Oh, something is wrong. Why something is not displayed? Let me paste everything. See, something is dropped. See, here I have something that's not coming. Any reason? There is school, doesn't it? School, doesn't it? Okay, go. Let's go. Why that is behaving like that? I don't know. Okay, I don't want to waste your time for the documentation. I'll put that image. Okay, don't worry. I'll put that image after this class. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Else we'll continue the tomorrow. Tomorrow, let's talk about. There is some beautiful concept called templating. So we'll talk about some of the steps. Let me remove. So message popover. We discussed. So I don't want this. Jam content we discussed. Okay, I can clean up myself. I don't need you guys to be available for this. So any questions? And just to remember one point, there will be a lot to discuss. It's not just like whatever I'm discussing, that is 100%. And at the same time, we should have some endpoint. If I say I know C language or UI5 and I will teach for 1,000 days, there is no use. I'm telling again, there is no use. If you say I learn UI5 for 2 years, I spend time to learn UI5 for 2 years, then after 2 years there will be no market. That's not the correct learning. Even though you export after 2 years, it's not going to help you. So therefore, for everything there should be some limit. I know there is a lot in the UI5, but I can give max whatever we can do within the duration. And after that also we can exchange the emails, we can talk all these things. But what I'm trying to say is that timelines is also very much important. So not following the timelines is also a failure. It's not like just not learning the UI5 is not a failure. Not following the timelines, everything is a failure only. Okay, that's fine. Thank you. Bye.